Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, hero of the fatherland, defender of the Reich, master of propaganda, here to deliver unto you another cast, another episode full of wonderful, lovely propaganda and instruction into the fictional art of warfare, or fictional warfare of Company of Heroes. Yes, indeed, a 2 vs 2 on rails and metals. Yes, indeed, we won't be seeing Langre, at least not for a short while yet, though we might soon return to it if I don't get a lot more good games. But you know, carry on, stiff upper lip and all that. And who shall be fighting? Well, here in the southern corner we are seeing the British Hypnojap. That's certainly not an offensive name. Fighting for the British, well, Commonwealth. I suppose we'll just imagine this is the Canadian Armoured Brigade or some sort. 2nd Canadian Armoured Brigade in support of the Americans. Take0again. Fighting for the 4th Armoured Division, fighting somewhere in the eastern France areas. That's where we'll be imagining things going on, as forces are pulling closer to Holland and Germany. A small force is being sent out by the Germans to create a defensive line in the hopes of perhaps exploiting something, well, more of an attack force rather than a defensive force. We are seeing Vexial. Yes, indeed, it shall be Vexial and Kriegdasvaterland again, although for some reason, whenever I get an email from either of them, they apparently keep calling him Krieg, not Krieg. I'm not entirely sure of that. But nonetheless, yes, there's been some improvements, so I'm deciding to, go again, give them another chance. Again, I mean, I don't mind if people send in particular of the sort of mid-level, but if you're not going to bother improving at all and keep making the same mistakes, game over and game over, then I might actually decide, well, I'm not going to bother casting until you learn something. I mean, higher level games, of course, I can't really put so much in there because, again, players who do know a bit more and, of course, also a bit more flexible. Mid-level, though, is where this sort of thing can go into a bit of a rut, where you're sort of deciding, well, I don't want to do anything else, I just want to stick to one thing over and over, and again, that sort of gets dull. It gets stalled in particular when you then also keep committing the same bloody mistakes. Anyhow, so that was a quick reminder on that bit, but of course we are here, and they shall combined make a, I don't know at all. Let us say a refitted and ready once more 21st Panzer Division, fresh, well, sort of fresh after the fighting in Normandy, where they got mauled in the British sector. They shall be fighting once more. Pioneer sending up Wehrmacht quarters. In fact, we are seeing 2 Wehrmacht players. Wehrmacht quarters 1, Wehrmacht quarters 2 going up. Yes, indeed. So far, so good. British troops sending out the reconnaissance section. Barracks going up for the Americans, so we won't be seeing a sort of one player goes for the highly defensive supported type and then sort of gets butchered while the other one does all the fighting. No, both will be doing some fighting. This is good. I mean, there's no reason to not sort of try to have a sort of difference in forces. I mean, you don't have to have mirrored forces, but at the same time you should always ensure that your forces are balanced, i.e. they are in a sense capable of completing the same tasks: attacking, defending, dealing with armored vehicles. You don't have to have the same methods for doing so, but generally you should always be capable of all 3 things like that. Generally, of course, a sort of other bunch of things apply as well, but generally all those things. I mean, if you're not suddenly capable of that, you might want to start asking questions about yourself and your teammate if he's the one not doing it, because again, I mean, sure, it might give you a small temporary advantage, but in the case of clever players who know where to find the weak spots and, of course, gravely hit them, you're going to run into a lot of problems very soon. So again, sort of imagine yourself as a balanced force, that is, a force that can take all things. I mean, imagine that you're an actual battalion or company or whatever, and you all have these things needed. I mean, there's a reason for it, so you can sort of handle things combined arms. That's rather things which the Germans mastered rather quickly. And the reason why they could do so much, again, combined arms. Say it with me, combined arms, but nonetheless, first engagement, recon section on the run, Bren carrier moving upwards. It's first engagement right there, Volksgrenadiers taking up positions and cover. This is good, although these chaps might try to make themselves a little less exposed right there in the light cover. Light cover only makes you a bit harder to hit. It doesn't give you protection against damage. 1 infantry section dead. These chaps are firing away, though, from a less than helpful position, and the Volksgrenadiers is right here taking quite a beating. Motorbike ready, Sundap or BMW, either side made bikes really, or either company, or the Sundap made the most, and the BMW was more suited actually for desert fighting, but nonetheless, let's not get a go on. There we go. Back moving in. Pioneers approaching from all sides. Looks like more Volksgrenadiers from Vexial. And the Pioneers sort of moving towards there, but looks like most of the fighting will be converging towards here, the east. Riflemen are moving in to really keep up the pressure right here. This house sort of being an important feature of this map, of course. Some might defend it with additional barbed wire or sandbags, and of course some when trying to put an MG42 and heavy machine gun, but of course try to use cover, not some manner to really fight it. Of course, placing up sandbags before that can of course also help you, but Volksgren is moving in. All sides, these chaps might want to get out there. They are awfully wounded, not looking too well. Bike pulling out, need of repairs. And looks like an MG42 is ready. Infantry section flanking the Volksgren is then heavy cover, good move. The riflemen there, not too well placed. I mean, again, cover is directional from this angle. They're not going to do much, but again, if they would sort of move up here, the cover for the Volksgren would not apply, and they would have their own heavy cover. Shot spits again. Maneuver, know when to use cover and in what manner, because again, cover can really make a huge difference if you know how to use it. Trust me. Infantry section going down, the riflemen not moving up behind the heavy cover, instead just closing the gap. That can also work occasionally, although then again sometimes it doesn't work. But there we go, Volksgren is getting shot up much too heavily, too much firepower being directed against them. Mines being laid down by the Pioneers. MG42, another one up here, another there. And looks like engineers are breaking through in the west, taking away territory from the Wehrmacht and the 21st Panzer Division. Ever so joyfully. They seem like certainly having already secured most of the map and keeping the forces of the Wehrmacht at bay. Another Volksgren team arrives for Kriegdasvaterland. He's certainly being a bit more aggressive. He's sort of focusing. He's certainly in the fight. Then again, that could also be because that's where currently most of the fighting is, and he's just sort of coincidentally also there. But at least he's not letting Vexial do most of the fighting. In fact, we're also seeing a bunker up. A medic bunker, in fact, right in the middle of the road. I mean, again, I might have discussed this, but again, the placement of medic bunkers, this sort of high priority targets, that is, if your opponent sees them, he definitely wants them knocked out as quickly as possible. And again, I sort of recommend somewhere where they're not so easy to spot, or at least not easy to get to. Ladies and gentlemen, placing your medic bunker, medic station, or casualty fleeing station in the middle of the bloody road is not quite achieving that. And that's sort of waving it in front of his nose, basically going, "Oh right, ladies and gentlemen, I do have a medic bunker. Lo and behold, of the awe of my ability to pick up my wounded and ensure they don't die right away. I am a genius." Not quite. Of course, we'll just sort of let that slip, but still, it's not the entirely best position. Of course, placing a bunker up right there, perhaps just to create a machine gun in position. Not an entirely bad idea. Medic bunker, though. Oh dear, mortar rounds going in. We do see a mortar emplacement up. This is making this position very bad. Vickers machine gun upgraded. Motorbike down. Skirmish phase reached. Pioneers getting blown to bits. Engine damaged. Oh dear, horrible, horrible for Kriegdasvaterland. His part of the 21st Panzer Division not really doing well. Must have been the part that was reinforced with the remnants of the 16th Luftwaffe Division. The survivors, that is. There was also the 17th which fought, and I do believe the 18th as well. Some of those were given over to other divisions as replacements. Others were basically sent back either to Denmark, apparently, because a lot of divisions were in fact apparently in Denmark turned refitted into either Grenadier divisions or Volksgrenadier divisions, or sent back to Germany for the same thing. But I didn't actually know that Denmark apparently was the place to be when it came to refitting divisions into phase ones. And apparently Volksgren is being flanked here. Of course, a nice flanking maneuver here, really making things untenable for the Volksgrenadiers, getting fired upon from all positions. Vickers machine gun firing away. Volksgren is getting suppressed again. The Bren carrier, when upgraded with the Vickers, can actually do a pretty good job at suppressing infantry. And that, of course, also makes it valuable, not just besides, you know, killing infantry, but it actually works as a pretty decent suppression tool, offensively and defensively. But there we go. Mine hit. The Bren carrier is on fire. It is now a fire carrier. Oh, the wit. The wit, and we are seeing another bunker up from Vexial. Will it be upgraded to a medic bunker, or will this just be an awkwardly placed MG bunker, which has lines pointing out in all directions? Let's just ignore that. Finding here, Volksgren is holding the line. Grenadier team could soon be refitted. Kriegdasvaterland has taken some losses, but we are seeing a Kriegbags going up for Kriegdasvaterland. Yes, indeed. Pack 38 on the way. He's expecting some sort of armor. And yes, we are seeing a supplier going up. No Browning automatic rifles, of course, again, division of roads, but again, Vexial is going for a Krieg barracks himself. They could both get packed 38. That's how you do it, gents. If you have to do it that way, at least. Grenadiers advancing. Slightly more stoic. Troops grenade getting launched or thrown at the Brits. Right into the house. Killing one chap. Yes, indeed. One man is down. The Grenadiers, ever vicious. Tough infantry. Some of the toughest, some of the best infantry in the game. Yes, indeed. Quite surprising for some, I imagine. But they can do quite well, of course. Unless, of course, they're outgunned and out-mortared. Mortar rounds generally tends to be bad for infantry health. And we are seeing blitzkrieg already. Assault grenades using against this clumped infantry. Absolutely clever maneuver right there. Could in fact take out one unit. No, they do get away, but still manage to do quite a bit of damage there. Forcing away the Brits right to the headquarters, which is right there. Of course, giving them munitions. And of course, what did I tell about no point munitions? Don't do that. I mean, there's one right there, which is medium. I mean, don't go on low points if you can avoid it. Grenadiers now sort of clustered up inside a building within the range of a mortar. Don't do that. Retreat immediately, Krieg. Yes, indeed. Scavenging the Brenker for munitions. I mean, good. Always try to scavenge vehicles that are wrecked for munitions. Unless, of course, you have an allied player, or you're playing as a Panzer Elite teammate who does her back cheek, who can pull together your and your teammates' his own vehicles. But, of course, otherwise, enemy vehicles, strip them for all their worth. Quite a bit of action actually going on. I do believe it's time to actually go look at Vexial, who has gone for terror. Yes, indeed, the terror of Vexial as he unleashes his furious wrath at the rifleman right there. Question is, of course, will he be using inspired assault, or he's just seeing it as a path until something with some incendiary rockets. Rifleman in a bad position. Volksgun is pushing forwards. Other riflemen hiding there. Volksgun is with MP40s. And note what here. Infantry in buildings are actually pretty well protected against submachine guns. Submachine guns are pretty terrible against. They take, in fact, 50% less damage, and they're 50% much harder to hit in a building. So, I mean, submachine guns, not the most effective weapons. Of course, again, if you have to hide from a submachine gun, get into a building. It's a good job. And looks like an M8 armored car's moving in. Upgraded with the armored skirt. That's what we like to see. Opening up on the Volksgun is Pack 38s. Moving in. Apparently one is Kriegdasvaterland carrying the center. Supply yard still there. Volksgun is charging in. Getting gunned down by the Bren gunners. Oh dear. Retreat. Retreat, Krieg. The M8 doing quite a nice job here. Right when they're being forced away. Pack 38 advancing very stealthily. Not entirely sure there's any need for it right here at this stage. Volksgun is pulling back towards the bunker with an MG42 gunner team in it. Fun thing to note, that camouflage they're using there is the Splinter camouflage. That was the one the regular army used. That is, if you're not a Waffen-SS, you're most likely to get equipped with that. Of course, later on as the war, as things got a bit more messy, that sort of changed. But by Normandy and such, that was actually pretty much the standard. Just like fun fact right there. Lieutenant sort of having a bit of fun, gaining veterans who won. Certainly helpful. Casualty station up, might be soon ready with another infantry team. Quite a few already there, 4 teams, that's quite excessive. Sappers now ready as well. Panzer straight equipped grenadiers finding a way at the field support truck, hoping to knock it out. Are they throwing grenades at the truck? That's not quite how it works. Kriegdasvaterland, it's about as sensible as finding a Panzer infantry. But advancing here slowly. Pack 38 though might want to advance a bit to provide better cover for the infantry. And we are seeing a Kampfkraft center going up. Kampfkraft center going up here. Apparently they are both sort of mirroring each other a bit too much. I mean, except the doctrines. Either side could perhaps have done well, but perhaps getting a bit closer to a Sturm Armory, perhaps getting a Puma, perhaps getting a Stu 4. That would certainly help, but pushing on nonetheless. Good. Got some nice infantry forces. Do believe it's time to give a look at take0again. Armored car blasting away. Volksgun is rather exposed. Pack 38 though advancing for the fatherland. Ready to deliver anti-tank death onto the Greyhound. Rifleman getting hit by Vexial's mortar. Apparently there's also one for Kriegdasvaterland. So both mortars are a bit... This is getting a bit too mirrored perhaps, you know. There's nothing wrong in having sort of slightly different forces, as long as, again, they can achieve the same roles in some sense. Just doesn't have to be in the same way. And Volksgun is in a building, getting fired upon from all sides. Bren guns, rifle grenades, mortars, socks, I don't know. Get away with those Volksgunners now. And these chaps are trying to take a building. Mortar hopefully firing in glorious support. But really need to get away back towards that medic bunker with the MG42 in it, which needs to be pointing in the right direction. Pushing through here, Vexial is making a very slow, cautious advance. Volksgun is clearing the way for infantry. Pack 38 advancing, ready to make sure no dastardly greyhounds make their advance. Looks like things are collapsing here, though the MG42 in the medic bunker fires away, keeping things cleared up, suppressing quite a bit of infantry. Grenadiers advancing for the fatherland. Lovely there, grenades on the Bren gunners. Assault grenades, in fact, stunning. Mortar rounds flying. British infantry dying. Yes, indeed. Poetry in Wehrmacht motion. Standing a bit further, the Grenadiers advance. And a Stu 42 Sturmhaubitze 42. Ready for the fatherland, ready to deliver high explosive death. They could, in fact, also be used as artillery, I believe, if they were sort of elevated enough, though that was a bit rarer and not really their main priority purpose. Still a bit of a fun fact there. Vexial slightly slowing down here in the north, could be pressuring a bit more, you know, advancing a bit more steadily, now getting Grenadiers himself. But, you know, forwards Männer. Immer forwards, and looks like this field support truck might be in what you might argue is a bit of trouble. Stu 42, Grenadiers with Panzer Shreks. M8 moving in. Sherman apparently take0again has gone rather swiftly away from the motor pool and then towards a tank depot. That's rather again the sort of case of building too much logistical stuff. I mean, you know, production building and not really, you know, using them enough. Thus spending too many resources too swiftly on buildings and not enough on troops on the field. That's a bit of a problem there. Of course, he's getting armor now, and of course that's only going to help. It's only going to give the advantage, but then again, why go for that single M8 in the first place then? And this Stu 42 is in a bit of trouble. Firing away, missing. Pioneers getting shot up. Sherman and armored car on the hunt, and a Hellcat is ready to deliver Brimstone, Kitten Fury or something. Sherman advancing, Grenadiers doing the best to hold the line. Volksgun is moving in as well. Not going to be able to do much against the Sherman. Pack 38 slowly pulling away secretly, clandestinely. And Vexial now seems to be the one that needs to, you know, get a bloody move on, while Kriegdasvaterland doing most of the fighting. And my god, that's a huge blob. I mean, a good few mortar rounds there. And splat! A lot of dead Brits. Looks like a 25-pounder gun is going up. Vexial needs to keep a bit more aggression now himself. Keep up the pressure. Don't let one player take all the beatings from both opponents. Very important things to know. And let's go have a look at Hypnojap. Building the 25-pounder gun, ready to bombard those Axis, those Krauts, those Hun, the Bosch. The Bosch being French for something, I don't know. Bit of barbed wire there, though again, not coordination enough, again, not enough pressure here from Vexial. And really, again, currently Kriegdasvaterland is taking most of that. That's again the sort of problem that was previously. Mostly then, Vexial would do most of the fighting, Kriegdasvaterland would do nothing. Now it's Vexial doing the exact same bloody thing. I mean, again, I know it's this time it's Vexial, but so again, I'd let it slip. But again, don't do that repeatedly over and over again. I mean, the entire northern front is open. Charge through, you stupid bastard. Finally getting a move on, it looks like. I mean, there's quite an exposed anti-tank gun, but nothing is going. In fact, he had a lot of infantry ready, but he didn't use it. Anti-tank gun cleared up. Kriegdasvaterland under an awful lot of pressure. Lots of Grenadiers, though. Medic station certainly paying itself off. Grenadiers are getting slaughtered. They're moving in too close to the automatic weapons. Get away! Get away! Stu 42, fresh one advances. Assault grenades on the Brits, doing a bit of damage. Stunning. Stu 42 shells fire. Brits going down. More assault, stunning further again. Absolutely vicious. And there we go. Assault clearing out the 25-pounder gun. That's what we like to see then. Pulling away. Move in the rest of the infantry and push the advantage, of course, again. I mean, attack from as most angles as possible. Again, that sort of draws out the opponent. And that's rather what should have been going on here a bit earlier and in a bit greater numbers. Rather than now, instead, Kriegdasvaterland ends up taking most of the beatings, thus being a little less able to actually counterattack for a while. Americans charging away. MG42 though in the old empty barn, proving it's not quite as old and empty, at least not empty. Some Volksgrenadiers remain, others possibly might be arriving. Quickly forwards. Stu 42 having a duel with the armored car. Tank destroyer and Sherman seem a bit unclear as what to do, and they're not getting repaired, oddly enough. I mean, there's plenty of engineers, but no one to repair them. NCO's report a lieutenant is KIA. And a lieutenant got shot up by the grenadiers. Good show, hooray, hooray. And looks like Vexial might indeed be finally doing a bit more good, pushing forwards. Going now for the next bit of artillery, pitting the whole thing together. The mortar getting a bit closer. Lots of Brits though moving in. They need to retreat. Things have gotten too dangerous. There's a Sherman, lots of Brits, rifle grenades. Death only waits those who wait. Come on, move it, mate. You can't get that. It's not going to break. Get away, get away. Don't sacrifice. Oh dear, he lost 2 infantry teams. What a waste. But there you go again. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. As that old song goes. In particular, when those things might actually end up dead, you generally don't want that. A good rule of thumb there, don't get your men killed. Volksgrenadiers firing away at the Brits. And a large assault from Kriegdasvaterland. This is again what we like to see. If he's switching towards another, then the other one leads a proper assault, doesn't sort of muck about in his side of the half and doing nothing. That's no, Krieg, don't blob up. Spread out, you know. Spread out, attack again. I mean, you have a sizable force there. You could attack, you know, from here and here, thus making again a bit harder for him to concentrate his defenses. But no, apparently Kriegdasvaterland has other things to do rather than, for example, moving in again from other sides. Moving in the Stu 42 to support as well. Instead, we are seeing a lot of grenadiers attacking from the south. Assault going in on the American infantry. Doing quite a bit of damage, actually. Riflemen taking insane losses. And the field support truck might not make it. Lots of grenadiers, lots of Panzer shreks. Though lots of mortar rounds and rifle grenades as well. One Volksgrenadier team is probably going to get lost. And another grenadier team runs the corner, getting shot up. Quite a bit of automatic fire, in particular the Bren guns are ridiculously accurate against retreating troops. Nothing the NG-42 can count, and there we go. Death everywhere, artillery, doom, blood and gore. Infantry section fighting it all off, and of course time for the mid-game analysis. What is the situation? Well, it's not looking entirely good for either side. I mean, the Germans are a bit low on victory points, but they're still pushing forward slowly but surely. Then again, they are taking quite a bit of heavy losses. And again, Vexial for some reason seems to have a bit of a hard time, you know, coordinating that proper assault from this angle, you know, doing a bit of damage against spreading them out further instead of allowing them to sort of clump up. Kriegdasvaterland on the other hand is actually doing alright. Though he could again stop blobbing up and attack from other angles. And again, a Sturm army from either side. I mean, they need to get some sort of armor of their own. Need to get something so they can push forwards. Either that or use some bloody smoke. On the other hand, the Allies are doing pretty well. I mean, they've got armor. That's a pretty huge advantage. Now an armor command truck on the way. But of course, again, they need to also be a bit more aggressive. Need to push on and perhaps need some more defenses. Perhaps a medic station for the Americans, perhaps some mines, you know, some bits like that. And he needs to stop being so defensive with his own armor. You know, push onwards, forwards, large attack, and you could probably clear up this area even with the Pak 38 in the way. So there you go. Let us return to the fight, ever briefly, ever swiftly, and let us return to Kriegdasvaterland. Mortar emplacement filled with wood and fire. Apparently not getting repaired though. No interest in that apparently. Pak 38 number 2 advances. Panzer command going up actually. Veterancy free for the infantry. And could be close to very somewhat soon getting a Tiger. but all quiet at the moment. Sherman's getting repaired. A few of those, in fact, another tank destroyer also coming in. But either side is being a bit too passive. But there we go, the Brits are launching an assault on the east, hoping to push forwards. Not a bad idea. And Vexial pushing through in the west at the same time, although it looks like more like a slight probe. No larger assault, no large scale anything.
We have completed repairs. We're ready to close with the enemy. Let's go, Junge.
Looks like we will be having a clash right here in the East Grenadiers versus the Brits. Stu 42 firing German attacks right here. And the Pack 38 is pointing in the wrong direction as Allied armor is sneaking in from the side surrounding the Stu 42 Grenadiers up against all the Brits out in the open. Oh dear, again, don't stand out in the open, use cover at least in some manner. But then again, assault to stun the Brits, to stun the defenders. That's what is also a nice thing to see. Clearing out one team, in fact, completely excellent. Excellent Krieg, forcing the rest away. Good assault there, though the Pack 38 is in need of help. Perhaps sending in those grenadiers with the Panzer would be a brilliant idea. And a Tiger could soon get called in. Hooray! Shermans now themselves getting quite a bit hit. Another Pack 38 has arrived and the Tiger getting ready. Out of control, and we are seeing the armored doctrine is ready for the Americans. Allied war machine has been chosen. No care about armor. At least not in the greater extent that the Soviet Union would care about their own armor. And another Sherman is down, my goodness. Otherwise, and there we go. Tiger is ready to show the Allies, the armies, and the Tommies, who is the true master of the battlefield. These grenadiers need to get away. Oh dear, they weren't retreated. Pack 38 again needs to turn right, and there we go. Tiger also needs to deal with this Allied spearhead of armor, and Doom need to break it off and not move in on its own without support. Kriegdasvaterland, always remember to support your armor, in particular your heavy armor. It's not that fast. You can't maneuver very well. Pack 38 apparently having some trouble penetrating the armor of the Hellcats. Engineers are charging ahead. MG42 not covering. Oh dear, this is going to be a disaster. And the Tiger turns its rear armor to the enemy. What are you doing, Krieg? One Hellcat down. Engineers for some reason running into the building. Piets getting pulled forwards. Oh dear, the Tiger once more exposing the rear. Now the Hellcat is flanking. This is an absolutely terrible position for your heavy tank to be in. And he just keeps moving into the mess. He doesn't pull away to try and save it. It's getting hit from all sides. This is absolutely horrific. Grenadiers are advancing, lobbing grenades, clear out the engineers. Panzer checks, but the Tiger, it needs to turn its front. Its rear is not that thick. Oh no. Tiger tactics clearly was not part of Kriegdasvaterland's training program. And now his grenadiers are getting squished. Tiger lost. Oh dear, and that could so easily have been avoided if he had sent it in with support. Once more Allied war machine goes off. Once more German tank gets replaced easily. Not looking too good. Cromwells have also arrived now as well. British infantry, or Canadian infantry, pushing through in the west. Vexial's infantry once more being a bit too calm, a bit too careless, a bit too lethargic. Forward barracks up. Panther ready. Pack 38 blasting away at the Sherman, perhaps hoping to get the final kill. But no such luck, and looks like Vexial is, no, Kriegdasvaterland is hoping to get that Tiger ready. And sounds like the thunder of artillery is ready once more. Blasting away here towards the Axis strong point. And again, Vexial just seems all too passive, which is quite strange because again in all the other games he's been quite aggressive, you know, usually, but now he's lost all the ghost. I mean, again, that's not how you play. Again, both push from all sides as possible. Again, it's only resulting in Kriegdasvaterland getting utterly ground up. I mean, he's lost quite a bit of infantry in those fights, and there's been barely any hint of Vexial being there. I mean, again, not good at all. Not good at all. Grenadier charging forwards. Finding a way. Another tiger will probably get called in soon. Looks like Vexial is finally making a move himself. Let's go have a look at him. Firestorm ready and all that. Force gunners and grenadiers. Forced retreat on a large clump of British infantry. Absolutely insane. Lieutenant going to end up very dead soon if he doesn't make a run for it. Hellcat blasting away. Sherman also moving in. Cromwell flanking about. Grenadiers and Fulskins out in the open, hoping to perhaps get the kill on the mortar emplacement this time. Once more failed. No, they're calling in a firestorm to clear out the job. Mines hit. Oh dear, and looks like the mortar emplacement might finally be done for after having been such a nuisance to the Axis effort. Panther advances, but it's quickly getting outmaneuvered. Quite a bit of armor being arrayed against it. Tank destroyers, Cromwells, Shermans, even a Greyhound. Though again, they should be coordinated at the same time. Otherwise, the Panther will take them out one and one, in particular from the front. Another Tiger arrives, but a Calliope arrives as well, blasting the area with rocket doom. Hellcat out of control. This is looking less than well for the Allies. Then again, if Kriegdasvaterland loses Tiger like the previous one, things might easily end up looking bad for the Axis as well, since he can't really afford those losses in terms of resources. And again, Vexial needs to get a bit better, you know, supporting his damn teammate at this stage. He's being a bit too passive. Repair bunker up for Kriegdasvaterland. Good move. Panther once more pushing forwards. Again, Tiger needs to sort of push the frontal armor forwards. And the trick is basically to sort of click within a sort of decent distance behind the tank. And will actually keep the front towards the enemy. It will sort of reverse. Otherwise, if you click too far, it will just make a 180-degree turn, which tends to be a pretty bad thing when the enemy is hunting you down. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. If you fancy keeping your Tigers, Panthers, Panzer forts and everything else alive. And again, Vexial needs to keep pushing. He needs to get on the field. He needs to get into the fight. And more veterancy for Kriegdasvaterland's armor. British infantry pushing towards this victory point. Central 1 in the hands of the Allies. Mortar rounds flying on the Brits, deterring them from their unlawful actions, although the mortar team could get killed. Not looking good, but Kriegdasvaterland infantry is moving in. Medic bunker getting repaired. Good move. Another Calliope arrives. Quite a bit of artillery from either side. But again, being awfully passive with their own armor. This is not good for the Allies either. Will Vexial get the move in the north? Tiger proving quite a threat right here. Cromwell moving forwards. Unable to hit the Grenadiers though. Sherman's doing nothing. Rifleman advancing on the Tiger. Might get off a sticky bomb. Yes, indeed. Sticky bomb on the Tiger. And surprisingly, no damage was done to the engine. Now the Shermans are pushing onwards. Quite a few actually might be able to get the drop on the Tiger, except for that Panther, which is firing in support, and of course the Pack 38. And of course the fact that the Tiger is switching to 3, thus giving quite a bit of protection. Allied war machine goes off though to minimize armored losses for the Americans. Good move at least. Certainly good coordination of Allied war machine and users of armor. Still a lot of allies being sort of focused up there, and again a devastating caliber barrage hoping to take out the Tiger, I wager. The Tiger actually survives most of it. Good move, and a Sherman lost. Wounded being picked in, and a massive British or Canadian assault going on in the east. Stu 42, the advancing, fully upgraded armored skirts, MG and everything else. It needs to stop those Brits. Fiat rounds falling off harmlessly. Well, mostly harmlessly. Even stormtroopers arriving, the true veterans of the divisions. Firing away, forcing the Brits to make a desperate run for it even. But Kriegdasvaterland is probably on his rather last legs now, probably having expended most of his resources. Yes, indeed, manpower blitz, but it's time to let we go take 0 again. Stormtroopers with a Bren gun. Sherman moving in. Has to be careful though. Pack 38. And looks like the Panther. And might Vexial finally make a damn move? He's been much too passive throughout this entire game, except from the beginning.
Victory point under siege. The Germans are moving in.
I mean, this is rather sad again, considering all the other games we actually did something.
Enemy unit down.
Once more, the Brits are on the move, and once more, Kriegdasvaterland is getting absolutely torn to bits. And infantry getting absolutely sundered by the Calliope barrages. Absolutely vicious, that. Grenadiers advancing a bit too far, want to get away. Sherman's moving in, and there we go, full retreat. Stormtroopers remaining with the Bren gun. Stu 42 in support, but there's no anti-tank assets. Oh dear. Tiger needs to move towards the east. Stormtroopers slowly pulling back, hoping to perhaps recruit that anti-tank gun. Looks like it, yes indeed. Last one retreating with a Bren gun, Pack 38 ready. But artillery already moves in against the Pack 38, needs to get away. No, and a priest has arrived to preach to the choir. Although the proper British or Commonwealth self-propelled artillery piece would have been the sexton. Pretty much the same, except it used a 25-pounder gun. Allied Shermans advancing on the Stu 42. Not having much luck in penetrating the Stu 42 right away, at least. But there we go. Stu 42 down to half health. And completely getting outmaneuvered, outnumbered, and outgunned. But the Tiger moves into the rescue, hits one Sherman. Stu 42 though goes out of control. Oh dear.
Enemy unit down.
Brits advancing. Brits advancing. 25-pounder gun advancing, and again, Vexial, who now has two Panthers, is still doing very little to actually support his teammate or even push through in the west, although he does have the central victory point secure. But really, Kriegdasvaterland is simply getting beaten up with Vexial just standing there looking. Not really the most optimal solution. It looks like a King Tiger has been called in from reserve. So quite a bit of heavy armor for the Germans, and absolutely no purging from the Americans. Had that arrived earlier, they probably might have some veterancy by now, ready to stop the Allied armor. The German armor advances a little bit better than the Calliope's just blasting away. Looks like the Panthers are finally on the move. Looks like Vexial is bloody well making a move. About damn time. Panzerkampfwagen 5 in pair advancing. Grenadiers and force grenadiers in support. And Calliope is getting spotted and fired upon. Excellent, excellent. Grenadiers and Stormtroopers forcing away the Cromwells. Or the Cromwell. The other one is a command tank and less of use. And what about Hypnojap? Lots of artillery and floating quite a bit of resources. Oh, Hypnojap. Then again, it might be because he's not having a lot of territory. And 25-pounder gun is gone.
Germans are attacking our supply lines.
But he needs some armor. He needs perhaps some fireflies. Now, post haste. And before the Panthers knock out the armor command truck, preferably. Artillery, though, getting called in on the Germans. Pinning down and killing most of the Fultz gunners and grenadiers, forcing them away. Artillery's on the Panthers even. King Tiger arriving. Still no research expenditure from the Commonwealth player. This is less than great at all. Calliope blasting away. German armor trying to retreat, taking quite a beating, but they're still there. But really, I mean, he needs to get spending his resources a bit better. Perhaps he'll get some command upgrades for the command trucks or something. But at least he's getting 2 fireflies now from this, well, not too well looking armor command truck. Armor getting ready. 1 victory point being taken back by the Brits. Might want to counterattack. Still, the Axis have managed to stabilize the situation. Although then again, Vexial really needs to have been a lot more aggressive in this fight. I'm actually a bit disappointed in him. But there you go. Then again, he might have just had a bad day. Who knows? So again, I might just be a bit too harsh on him. So keep that in mind as well, I suppose.
Victory point secured.
Oh, so very quiet. Let us speed things up a bit then. Lots of Calliope barrages flying, and Germans are pushing through again. Kriegdasvaterland's bit going in. Stormtroopers, grenadiers, Bren guns, and Panzer shreks. Central victory point has also been secured, and a push needs to come from this area as well. I mean, there's quite a sizable force. Fultz grenadiers, Panthers, a King Tiger, and a Tiger. I mean, push forwards, you know. Make a damn effort, mate.
We are losing a sector, I say again. We are losing a sector.
Steady up, men. Looks like we've got some action.
And there we go, armor advances, clearing out the Brits right there. Calliope barrage is going in to try and break up the assault. Doesn't quite succeed, only destroying the infantry support, but the Panthers and the King Tiger could still make a push if they so decided. If they so decided, they had the valor and the tenacity, and of course the chevalier attitude. The proper Panzer mind, but apparently not. Instead, getting caught up on one tiny little infantry team. Less than splendid. Casualty King Station is gone. Grenadiers clearing out the east. And a lot of armor sequestered away here, but not moving. My goodness, what's going on? Seems to be some very terrible usage of armor all around. Looks like Kriegdasvaterland is advancing its own. Grenadiers and Fultz stormtroopers being forced away. Another Calliope barrage is still not pushing forwards with his Panzers. In fact, he lost a Panther, probably because he was too busy doing everything else than attacking. Oh, the sadness. Stu 42 getting flanked by a Sherman. Tiger advances forward still.
What a better plan. Points are now at 50.
Interestingly enough, no use of Blitzkrieg, sadly. There's been absolutely no use of Blitzkrieg, actually. And no use of Inspired Assault. That depresses me a bit. And now it looks like Kriegdasvaterland is getting his own Panthers. Perhaps we'll use them a bit more aggressively than Mr. Vexial this turn. Tank getting surrounded. Armored war machine still no attempt at Blitzkrieg. You know, increase the rate of fire of the Panzer. It will fire twice as fast. And the Panther arrives to support the Tiger. Vexial still not really pushing forwards. Still awfully passive. Stu 42 dead. But this Sherman might be in a lot more trouble than it realizes. And a GG from Vexial. GG from Hypnojap, and that is about it. Game over. A victory for the 21st Panzer Division in an attempt to stabilize the front in France before it all comes to Holland and Germany. Oh well, yes, there we go. And of course, well, what can we learn from this? Well, I mean, again, don't be passive. I mean, push if you can. I mean, that was really the main problem with Vexial. Again, that's sort of the thing that can really end a lot of 2 versus 2 games. That is the one player not doing enough of the fighting and expecting the other one to do it all, which usually ends up with, if the other 2 players know their business, the other player getting ground down, not being able to fight. And of course, in random 2 versus 2, this of course usually ends in the other one completely complaining, while of course he's still yet to get that he actually needs to play his part as well. And I see that certainly quite a bit. So of course is a bit of a that is quite a problem. And again, both players need to play, they need to fight, and of course they need to balance. Of course, doesn't mean you have to mirror it, force again, attack if possible, and of course keep up pressure, force them to split up a bit. But sadly, that didn't really happen. Vexial played a much too passive play this game, which again is a bit sad. On the other hand, there was a bit of armor misuse, you know, not pushing forwards again. Kriegdasvaterland having a problem showing the rear of his armor, and the Allies again sort of just hanging about with armor, doing nothing with it several times when they probably could have pushed forward and secured a victory at some stages. Again, problem right there. There's a bit of problem coordination between the Allies, in fact. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why not subscribe or tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.